Well, hello there, how is everyone? I hope you are all well on this fantastic Saturday. It's actually Saturday. I was about to say it's Friday. If you can't trust Harsh for the weather and the news and the right day of the week, what can you trust him for? Anyway, you're looking amazing. So we're getting at some meat and potatoes as we're going to be talking about none other than Kylie Rodney and Nicola Bulley. And why would we be placing Kylie Rodney and Nicola Bulley in the same sentence? I hear you say. Well, it's for a huge similarity between these two cases. That is that we have a female who enters the water, law enforcement who seemingly behave in a manner that would lead you to believe that they don't want the person found who is in the water, and a dive team that is used as a scapegoat. What am I talking about? Right, in the link of the description of this video, there is a video link. And I want you to go and click on it and check on it. Go check it out. It is, I believe, Break the Ice. Possibly, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. But regardless, the important thing is the link, and he is doing an interview with none other than Peter Faulding. Now, Peter Faulding was the leader of the dive team that entered the water when Nicola Bulley went missing. This is important. So what it would lead you to believe is that, right, let me just step back a bit and say, remember. So remember that the narrative pushed out was that Peter Faulding had turned around and said, look, she's not in the water. Nicola's not in the water. I've looked, I've searched. And that has thrown a little bit of a spanner in the works in terms of how people have felt about the whole dynamic of this case. At the end of the day, Peter Faulding was a highly respected and highly skilled diver with equipment, no real difference to it in what we saw in the Kylie Rodney case with Doug & Co. But because he had turned around and said that Nicola Bulley was not in the water, she had not entered the water, again, that left a lot of room for interpretation. She would later be found in the water, and what we would then see is the decimation, if you like, of Peter Faulding and his reputation. Until now. So, let's run through this with you quickly. So we have a situation here where we'll come back to this one. But Nicola Bulley diver Peter Faulding claims he found body after 6 minutes as he hicks back at criticism. Now yesterday, for those of you who didn't see it, I did a video which was a review of the review. So I was doing a review of the review that was reviewing the review. There's a lot of reviews. And basically, they attacked Peter Faulding. They attacked him in this. Doesn't that sound familiar? Anyway, police felt some of Mr. Faulding's behaviour and activities caused changes to investigation, finds report. An expert diver has claimed he without a doubt found Nicola Bulley's body within 6 minutes as he hit back at a review into the police's handling of the missing mother's case that criticised his part in the search. An independent investigation found that Peter Faulding gave statements to the media that were found to be at odds with what happened to Ms. Bulley, and that police felt some of his activities caused challenges to the investigation. Mr. Faulding had led a private search of the River Wye in search of the mother of two who was found on the 19th of February, about a mile from where she vanished, while walking her dog in St Michael's in Lancashire 3 weeks earlier. An inquest concluded the death was accidental, that she fell into the river on the day she disappeared and died almost immediately in the cold water. In a statement on Tuesday, Mr. Faulding said he and his company, Specialist Group International, or SGI, arrived in St Michael's on Wye to assist with the search for Miss Bulley on the 6th of February and found no sign of her in a section of the river that day. However, the following day, police told Mr. Faulding's team to scour what the diver called the hot zone, which was a non-tidal area in front of the bench where Miss Bulley's phone was found down to the wear. From experience, if Nicola had entered the water here, this is the area where she would most likely be found, Mr. Faulding said. 6 minutes after beginning the search at 10:34 a.m, the diver said he spotted a significant target that appeared, from my experience, to take human form, which was about 75 metres downstream from the bench. Now, for those of you who have been following the Nicola Bulley case, and invested in the Nicola Bulley case, you will remember the likes of Eddie's Vinyl Break had said that if something happened and she went into the water around where she was with a phone and, the bench, she would be found in that water. She would have entered the water there and been found sort of around this sort of distance. I think Eddie was actually out by about 25 metres, but there or thereabouts. So, Mr. Faulding said he called Lancashire Police Search Advisor to tell them of his findings in less than 20 minutes, sending an image of what he had seen and requesting that SGI divers be put in the waters immediately to check the area. However, he claimed that his request dive was refused, alleging he was told Northwest Underwater Search Unit, NWUSU, would conduct the dive that afternoon instead. So already wanting to not do it immediately, but no, we'll do it later. So the urgency there. The NWUSU told his team the target was found to be nothing. He claimed this baffled me deeply, as I am not usually wrong when I locate a target, especially a body that shows a clear signature. Sonar shadows cannot be created by nothing. Like I say, it's interesting when they come back and say, oh, it was nothing. Well, it wasn't nothing, it was something. So what was that something? They just said it was nothing. He alleged his team discreetly rescanned the same area, which showed the same target in the same location at 4:30 p.m. that day. Mr. Faulding said, having worked closely with police and police dive teams for many years, I had nothing but respect for them, an instinctive trust in their ability, and had no reason to doubt their findings. Although I thought I had found a very credible target, I conceded that maybe I was wrong, and later that afternoon I made a statement to the media saying that there was no signs of Nicola and that I did not think she was in the river. Mr. Faulding said a request to the Lancashire Police Search Advisor to rescan the same area of river was refused the following morning on the basis that the target area was clear. So let's just talk about this for a second. So we've got a situation where a very skilled and accomplished diver enters the water, near enough immediately finds something that looks like a body, and seemingly law enforcement don't want that checked. Very, very bizarre. And for those of you who followed the Kylie Rodney case, a very similar situation happened, where it seemed initially that they were all trying to get Adventures with Purpose, because remember, they never called Adventures with Purpose. It was people who watched Adventures with Purpose, who had seen the Kylie Rodney situation unfolding, and they requested that Adventures with Purpose go up. So they went up. It looked like the whole area was trying to basically say, we don't really need you here. We've done everything. We've spent 19,000 hours and we've checked. We've had divers in the water here, there and everywhere. They've tried to get them to go elsewhere. Even Nick, the tow truck driver, which I know, now time has gone on and the dust has settled, I can't help but think that Nick was involved in order to try and get people to look further afield, to drag them away from this area, to drag them away from where Kylie actually would eventually be found. But anyway, so up until the point where Doug is going into the water, law enforcement are like, you don't need to search it, we've done it. To the point where Doug has had to turn around and say, look, if I ain't searched it, it ain't been searched. Literally goes in the water and finds Kylie, 50 feet from the shoreline. And you think again, so what is going on? Is this a situation of incompetence? Look, Adventures with Purpose dive team who found Kylie Rodney have sold 23 other cold cases. I know there's some issues with... Let's just try and forget the Jared Lysak shit for the moment. The elite dive team who found the body believed to be Kylie Rodney on Sunday in just 35 minutes has also cracked 23 cold cases since the group began. There's... We don't need to have a look, do we? At the end of the day, you guys know what happened there. You know what happened there, and this seems to be the same shit. And look, I put myself in a bit of a funny position talking about this case because I'm in the UK, and there seems to be a lot of issues with people talking about this case. The lucky thing is that I have my own axe to grind with law enforcement, so if they want to indeed come and speak to me, I will go very publicly about the axe that I have to grind. So watch this space on that. But with regards to the Nicola Bulley case, to think that Peter Faulding has gone into this water and seemingly found her almost immediately, you have to question why there wasn't any, not only no urgency in getting back in the water or saying, yeah, do you know what I mean? You obviously know what you're doing, you've got the equipment, you've got the divers, you're respected, you've worked alongside law enforcement, get back in there and have a look. Why is it a case of, no, you're not looking, we're going to send someone in later, and then they come back and say nothing? And it's clear, in hindsight, that what he saw was likely Nicola. This whole case needs to be looked at with a completely different set of eyes, because something don't sit right. If it was me, if I was Nicola Bulley's partner, Nicola Bulley's family, and this information come out, what would I be doing now? I'd be going fucking frantic. And I would be wanting answers. 100% I'll be wanting answers. Maybe there's nothing. Maybe it is what it is. Maybe she fell in the water. Maybe someone who was an accomplished walker, because she was an adult, in an area that she, I've said this multiple times, frequented regularly, she just randomly fell in the water for no apparent reason. And then seemingly no one wanted to get her out of the water apart from Peter. And like Adventures with Purpose, because they're the ones who want to get this person out of the water and back to their loved ones, law enforcement and co do a fucking hatchet job on them. It's not right. It ain't right. I'll catch you all in the next one.